Welcome to Parlor Talks. If you're an owner or manager of a label, folding carton, flexible packaging, or corrugated packaging printing company, this podcast is for you. We'll dive into the latest trends, innovations, strategies, and best practices shaping the package printing industry.
Hi everybody, I'm Kaylee Vandewater, Senior Content Editor for Packaging Impressions and your host for today's episode of Parlor Talks. So we're really gearing up for this year's Printing United Expo, which is happening September 23rd to 25th in Las Vegas. There's going to be tons going on this year, as always, so I wanted to give you all a sneak peek of what's in store. So to give you the sneak peek, today I have Lisbeth Lyons Black, Director of Women in Print Alliance with me. So Lisbeth, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. Um,
Oh, thank you for
so
having me, Kaylee.
of course. So for our listeners who may not know you, can you tell us a little bit about your role with Printing United Alliance and the mission of Women in Print Alliance?
Sure, I'd be happy to. I am currently the director of Women in Print Alliance, although I have kind of a longer history probably with the printing industry and Printing United Alliance specifically. My background professionally is in advocacy. I was a director of government relations and strategic initiatives for many years for a couple of trade associations in the industry, including Printing United Alliance. And one of the issues that I advocated on for the industry was workforce development and labor policy.
Mhm.
And so when Printing United Alliance decided to launch a strategic initiative to really attract and advance women in the printing industry, I jumped at the chance to be director of that initiative, mainly because it really married my advocacy background and the workforce and career development aspect of what I loved to do with empowering women and creating community. And having represented this industry for many years on the government affairs side, I really saw the kind of complex situation for women in the industry and the changing nature of it as women rose in the ranks. And I thought it was really an exciting initiative to be a part of. And that is really how I came to be the first ever official professional staff director of Women in Print Alliance.
No, that's awesome. So obviously you've been in the industry for a long time, like you said,
Mhm.
and you've seen the industry evolve over the years. So from your perspective, where are you seeing like the biggest opportunities for women today in the industry?
Well, it's an interesting question, and I think it kind of I think an important place to start is really a baseline of kind of how many women are in the industry. And while there aren't hard and fast numbers, there are benchmarking surveys that are looking at demographic data in the printing industry. In particular, NAPCO Research publishes a report called Wages, Salaries, and Benefits, and they look at gender representation in the industry as well as kind of gender breakdown by key printing segments. And I think people are kind of surprised to know that overall, women make up an average of 40% of the print workforce. Now, it's a very, very diversified industry, right? So that representation is not evenly distributed across different segments. For example, apparel decoration leads the industry in having the most women employed in that segment. 68% of companies in the apparel decoration employ 50% or more women. Whereas packaging, interestingly, and I know we're talking on a packaging podcast today, packaging still remains the most heavily dominated in terms of male employment. And companies in the packaging sector employ an average of just 30% women. So it's women are making progress, women are becoming more visible in the industry, and it's just a bit unevenly distributed. But to answer your question, I mean, what I'm really seeing are a couple of encouraging things. One, the number of women that are rising in leadership, I think, is very exciting. I have seen this over the course of my career being in and around the printing industry. And I think that it just continues to accelerate. We see more and more women in C-suite positions. We see more women that maybe didn't come up through the ranks of printing necessarily with technical or press expertise, but have expertise in change management or sales or kind of multidisciplinary sort of skills that are becoming more important to printing industries as printing industries themselves become more diverse in their offerings. So I think there's a lot of excitement and interest in bringing women into leadership. I mean, there's a lot of you've probably seen this, Kaylee, a lot of workplace policy studies that show that the more diverse a leadership team is, whether it's gender or ethnicity or age, that leadership team typically brings products to market faster. They're more innovative. It creates kind of a growth mindset with a variety of inputs and backgrounds, making decisions at the top level for a company. And so I think all of that is very exciting, not just for women, but for the industry itself.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally agree with you. That's awesome. Um, so now let's talk about the expo because that's the big reason why we're here today. So I know Women in Print Alliance is doing a lot of different things at Expo this year to help women connect and grow professionally. So can you kind of give us an overview of what's planned for this year?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. And I'm so glad you asked because really Expo is, in the US, it's the largest confab of women in print
Mhm.
gathering together in person in the country. And so that's super exciting. It's a great annual event. It's in Las Vegas, as the listeners probably know, this September. Still a lot of time to register and be
Mhm.
part of really what is a very dynamic industry event. And Women in Print Alliance has a pretty big role at Expo, but really it's kind of an extension of what we do all year long. And I know we can talk more about that, but in terms of Expo, we are there to really help advance women in terms of their career knowledge, industry growth, their business development, because women are attending Expo not just to network, but to make transactions, to do business. There's what I call the power of the purse. Women are coming with real buying power. And whether it's on the vendor side or the print buyer side, they are there to do business. So we, as an alliance, Women in Print Alliance, are there to support all of that business growth and industry knowledge and new ideas and transfer of knowledge that take place on the show floor. And at the same time, we're there to really create community. And, I mentioned earlier that, fewer than half of the employees in the industry are women. And while there are a lot of women that attend Expo, I think you kind of see that on the show floor. You see that breakdown. There are definitely more men there than women.
Mhm.
And for a lot of women, it may be the one industry show or conference they go to all year. And it's an opportunity for them to network, to find community, to meet other women who may be in their segment, but in a different part of the country or even the world that they wouldn't have an opportunity to meet otherwise. And that's what we are there to do. So that's kind of macro what we the kind of experience we want to provide for women at the Printing United Expo. And I'm happy to talk a little more if you'd like about the specific events that we're hosting in order to accomplish both of those things.
Oh yeah, I would love to hear more about the events because I know obviously there's the luncheon, but you guys do so many other things while we're at Expo. So if you could give us kind of a quick overview of that too, that would be great.
Yeah, so the luncheon is, I would say, our signature event. It's our
Yeah.
signature in-person event. We're super excited about it. This is the fourth or fifth year in a row. There was a little
Um,
break for COVID, so fourth or fifth year in the row that we are back with our luncheon.
mhm.
And this is an opportunity. It's on day two, September 24th, which is a Thursday. So day two of Expo from 12 to 2 in the afternoon. And we have a ballroom just off the show floor. It makes it super convenient for women to take a couple of hours I always say kind of a respite from the chaotic,
Mhm.
exciting yet chaotic nature of the show floor, to spend some time really focused on kind of small group networking with people at their luncheon table, as well as professional development, because we have fabulous keynote speakers that we bring in. And I'm super excited about our keynote speaker this year. Tell you more about her if you'd like.
Mhm.
But the event itself is a lovely seated. I always say I'm not making anyone walk through a buffet after they've been walking that show floor.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
you can sit down, and I've had many women tell me over the course of Expo, it's the only full meal they eat the entire time they're at Expo. So
Oh my
we really
gosh.
want to make it, we want to make it a pleasurable experience, but also
Mhm.
one that is, creates meaningful connections as well. And sometimes just getting off the show floor and kind of having a change of scenery and a bit of a quieter atmosphere is a good way to do that. So
Mhm.
our event is open to any woman who is attending Expo, whether or not they're a member of Women in Print Alliance. We do have a discounted ticket rate for members of Women in Print Alliance, and people are welcome to join to get that member rate. But if they haven't yet joined as a member of Women in Print Alliance, they're still able to purchase a ticket and attend the luncheon. And really, I encourage women to do that if they haven't joined as a member yet, because it's a great way to kind of see the community firsthand and get a good feel for what we are all about. And I will tell you, Kaylee, last year we had women from, including the US, 12 different countries who
Wow.
attended our luncheon. And so you'll meet, if you come, you will meet people not only from your segment, you'll meet people from other areas of the printing industry, other states, other countries. It's really, it's very impressive when you see all of those women. We turn around and do a selfie and you see 100+ women together,
Mhm.
breaking bread and really coming together to support one another. And on top of that, have a really fabulous, inspiring keynote. It's a
Mhm.
fabulous event. So I really encourage any woman who's coming to Expo to check it out and be part of it.
Yes, I hope I can make it this year. I wasn't able to make it in the
Yes.
past, but it sounds awesome. So I'm hoping to
Yeah.
make it. But okay, so obviously the luncheon and all the other things that you're doing at Expo are part of the larger Expo experience. And networking is obviously very crucial to your time there. Um, what advice do you have for women for making meaningful connections during the show?
Achieve color consistency, efficiency, and precision with G7 Plus certification, the industry's gold standard for color management. Whether you're in packaging, commercial print, or digital production, G7 Plus ensures neutral gray balance and visual consistency across all applications, helping you reduce waste and improve quality. And getting certified has never been easier. Choose from live in-person training for hands-on experience, live online training for real-time learning from anywhere, or on-demand training for flexible, self-paced education. No matter your schedule, there's a G7 Plus certification option for you. Printing United Alliance members save 20% on all courses and certifications. Stay ahead of the curve, view training options, and get certified at printing.org/G7 Plus.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think it starts before the show.
Mhm.
And it depends really on, how experienced you are, I think, at attending a show like Printing United Expo, because it is mammoth.
Mhm.
And it really takes some strategy and planning to feel, empowered and comfortable and know that you're going to make the most of your time there. And so to help women who have not been to Expo before, or who have, taken a break and not been there in a while, we actually, as Women in Print Alliance, we sponsor a free and open webinar called Expo 101 Tips and Tricks. And we have a panel of women who have a lot of experience attending Expo. And we walk through, Kaylee, just what you're talking about, networking
Mhm.
tips. We talk about very kind of basic logistics, what what shoes to wear. That always comes up, and people give great recommendations, by the way, to kind of thornier subjects like how to handle, some inherent bias that you may encounter while you're on the show floor, which happens at Expo. It happens in any business setting. How to handle after hours if you're not a big partier, but you still want to be able to engage in some of the after hours activities, and particularly in Vegas, which can be overwhelming. So that is really, I think, step one, to kind of get your head right and ready to be able to kind of take Expo by storm and make the most of it. So I encourage women, even if you've been to Expo once or twice, it does not hurt to sit in and listen to this webinar, because I think you'll pick up just some good nuggets that help you feel really prepared. And that webinar is listed on our website, and it is, again, free and open to any woman attending Expo. So that's kind of step number one in terms of networking and other elements of Expo. At the show, I really encourage women to stop by the Women in Print Alliance kiosk, which is located within the Printing United Alliance booth. I always tell women, like, let that be your home base. If you need a break, if you just kind of feel overwhelmed, if you feel like you haven't, you need to kind of take a moment, meet a few people, get recentered. Come hang out at our booth. I am there most of the time. There's always someone at our booth. So we definitely welcome women to come over. And if they're not members of Women in Print Alliance, it's a great way to learn more about our year-round organization. So come see us at the booth. And then certainly networking, extends year round. And so that's something that I am very proud of, that we've been able to help foster through Women in Print Alliance. I know personally women that have met at the show through Women in Print United events or Women in Print Alliance events that have become, I know two women who own their companies, one's in Houston, one's in North Carolina, and they decided to become accountability partners. They're in the same space, in the same segment. They don't directly compete. They're in different parts of the country. But they really kind of understood what each other was kind of going through and what some of their challenges and opportunities are. So I love that they met through Women in Print Alliance and are able to do that. I know of another pair of women, one more senior in the industry and one very new to the industry, who met at Printing United Expo a few years ago, and they've really been able to kind of have a mentor type relationship that they've taken because they're both in the same region in North Carolina. And so I think just those kinds of, I see those, I could give you example after example after being at several expos of seeing those connections made. And, it's really up to you to be able to kind of keep that going. But certainly it's a great jumping off point to find, even if it's one or two women that you connect with and you stay connected with through LinkedIn or through, through texting or whatever throughout the year. It just builds on itself and really just creates that community in the industry.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And about you mentioned the webinar, we can include a link to that in the podcast description for everybody. So if you're interested, we can put that there and you guys can click on it. But okay, cool. So my next question was about I guess going beyond Expo. Because you said that everything you guys are doing at Expo is kind of a distillation of what you offer throughout the year. So can you tell me, like, for somebody who wants to get more involved in the industry, what can Women in Print Alliance offer, like, throughout the year?
Yeah, I'm happy to. And, I think I'll start with kind of a bit of Expo and go into this question, because something I did want to mention that I think is important and gets overlooked a little bit is that there is a student contingent at Expo. And there are usually anywhere from 20 to 25 young women at Expo who are part of an organized student day program. And they actually come to our luncheon as well. And we try to sprinkle them in to some of the professional tables so that they're able to really see women at a high level in the industry and get excited about the career pathways that are in the industry. And so I just wanted to mention that because we're talking about networking. And we're talking about, women working already in the printing industry, networking with one another. But please don't overlook the opportunity, if you have it at Expo, to talk with one of these students or a group of these students. They do go to the different booths. They meet with vendors. They do an official kind of organized vendor tour. But they are so eager to learn about the industry, but they're really eager. I worked with some of these women at a recruitment event recently, and what they're really interested in is seeing what women have accomplished in the industry, because it gives them, like I said, an excitement, an idea of a pathway that they can have as a rewarding career. So just wanted to throw that out there. And Kaylee, that really kind of goes to what you asked about our year-round programming, because we have a student membership, so that is free for students. So we involve students as much as we can. Yeah, I mean, really looking at the industry, I think everyone in the industry knows we're facing a workforce shortage in terms of so many retirements and an aging workforce. And so our industry is competing with other manufacturing industries, particularly in packaging and engineering. And STEM for the best and the brightest. And that includes women who are studying, packaging design, package engineering, art, and all the aspects that go into engineering. So please we don't like to overlook that, that contingent at Expo. And again, we try to involve them all year long. And then for the women who are already working in the industry, we offer both educational, career growth programs, content, a fabulous podcast that really serves to offer a lot of inspiration. It's called the Her Imprint Podcast. And I always say, whether you're a man or woman, you can get a lot out of these podcasts. But it really goes to what we try to do, which is help educate and provide career and professional growth opportunities for women throughout the year, whether it's through webinars, or educational programming, special topics such as AI. We also host regional meetups and in-person events throughout the year, so encourage women to be part of that. We're trying to expand those. We've started slow. We've been in 4 to 6 cities, I think, and we're looking to expand that in 2027. So that's a good option for networking. And then kind of the online community too, whether it's content, we produce a bi-weekly newsletter. We have a talent directory online. We actually have a job board online, but also a membership directory where women can chat with one another, and community forums provide that as well. So community building, education, advancement, and actually a new conference that we have that I can kind of spill the tea about a little bit.
Yeah.
I say it's new. It's we kind of dipped our toe this year into what we call the Advocacy Summit, Advocacy Breakfast and Summit in Washington, D.C. It's a half-day program, and it was a small group of women, kind of a core contingent that came together to be part of that. And we are going to host that again in April, on April 13th in Washington. I think it's the 13th or 14th. It's on our website. I have to look, but it's, I know that because my birthday is the 15th, Kaylee. So it's all like in my head. But that is an in-person half-day event in Washington, D.C. that will be open to women in the industry. And I'm really excited about that because, Las Vegas is a huge show, but it is, it's a hike for a lot of people to get out to the West Coast if they're on the East Coast side of the country. So we're able to have an East Coast presence too in the spring. So 2, places for women to come together, learn, gather, and create community in person.
I love that. That's awesome. Okay, so we talked about a lot.
Yeah.
And
are you just meeting me, Kaylee? Because I will always talk about a lot.
I think for everybody listening, in terms of the expo, going back to expo, and all the things that you guys are going to be doing at expo, I'm convinced I will be definitely putting those things on my schedule and fitting them where I can. But if someone isn't sure yet, what would you say to encourage them to take that first step and attend something from Women in Print Alliance at Expo?
Well, I can tell you that it's probably one of the most welcoming groups that you will find. And there is a vibe at Expo in general where people are excited to be there. And there's this kind of energy that stems from all the industry innovation and technology and deals that are going on. And that buzz really kind of carries over to networking as well. So I would say definitely, if you want to be part of that for your company or your industry, you need to be at Expo. And certainly being able to attend a Women in Print Alliance event as part of Expo will help you find that community. So I think that's really important. And I would say, keep an eye on, for the women who are going or who are still kind of deciding, we have a dedicated website. I think you'll provide that link, Kaylee, that
Yes.
really is kind of our guide to everything Women in Print Alliance at Expo, kind of designing your experience, because it's not just the luncheon or not just the booth. I mean, there are award ceremonies that are going on. There are women that are giving demonstrations and educational seminars and talks. I mean, women are doing a lot at Expo. And what we try to do is make as many connections as possible. So you will find your community, you will find your tribe, and you'll be doing it not only for yourself, but for your company, and to be part of something exciting that brings the entire industry really globally together in one place. So it's definitely a not to be missed event. And another thing I would just say is follow us on LinkedIn, because we are really good, particularly even at Expo, leading up to Expo. Like every day of Expo, Kaylee, we will say, okay, day one, here are things you can do as a Women in Print Alliance, or like, here are things not to miss. So we really use real-time LinkedIn communications for, to stay in touch with everybody during Expo, before and after, but especially during. So check out our dedicated website, follow us on LinkedIn, sign up for our newsletter. It's free. You get it every 2 weeks, and we definitely, while we talk about more than just Expo, you'll definitely you will see all the opportunities to connect at Expo if you get our newsletter.
Yeah. I love the real time updates for people so they don't miss anything at Expo.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. If you've been there,
Yeah. Yes,
you can
I
go
know,
in having
it's
the best
so hard.
plan, but
Mhm.
it's easy to get sidetracked. So yeah, we like to make sure people know where they can find us and where they can find kind of our community every day on the show floor.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a great idea. So I have one more question for you. What's one thing that you hope every woman attending Printing United Expo walks away with this year?
That's a good question. Um, I think a feeling of pride and inspiration. Um, Pride and inspiration not only of being a woman in a really exciting industry, but just pride and excitement about where the industry is going. We tend to, we're in it, right? You're working in a printing company, you're working in the industry. It's hard to stop and think about how massive the industry is and how much economic influence and societal influence the industry has. And when you're at Printing United Expo, you really feel that, and you realize that you're part of an exciting, innovative industry. And it may be an industry that doesn't get talked about all the time, or you might not see commercials on TV about the printing industry like you do other industries. But we are, our industry has incredible influence, as I said, economically, societally, leading in sustainability. There's just a lot to be excited about and to be proud of being part of this industry. And honestly, knowing that you're part of a women's community that's leading the way and shaping the future of this industry is just the cherry on top.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. Um, so that was all the time we have for today, unfortunately. But thank you so much for giving us a taste of what to expect from Women in Print Alliance throughout the year and at Expo. And for everybody listening, I will include all those links below, as well as a link to register for Expo. But thank you again, Lisbeth, for joining me today. Really, really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. I look forward to seeing everybody in Las Vegas.
Yes, see you in Vegas.